Yo, what's good, everybody? It's the boy KD coming back again after a many month hiatus. I apologize about that. I truly do. I'm gonna try to get back to making content over here on YouTube. So please just bear with me. I've been spending most of my time over on Mixer, in which there will be a link in the description below, so you can come check me out over there. And please remember that there is a age restriction to it, 18 plus, because I do mature content in terms of language as well as actions that go over on the channel. So if you will watch me and you're under 18, please make sure that it is good with your parents, okay? I just want you to know that. Even if you're 17 and you rebelling against your parents, you like, hey, that's between you and them. I just don't want no issues coming my way behind it, all right? But anyway, as you can tell from the title, yes, I'm here to weigh in on all of the controversy, if you will, floating around about the new Pokemon games that will be dropping later on this year. Everybody seems to be a bit upset with the fact that not all Pokemon will be included in this year's Pokemon game. Well, last year, all Pokemon wasn't included. We only had the original 151. I didn't get to partake in that, but I mean, I wasn't excited about it either. You know, that the fact that we only had 151 Pokemon, and I actually 152 because, well, actually 153 when you think about it, because you had Meltan and Metal. But anyway, either way, we didn't have all of the Pokemon then. And for those of you that actually played that game, yeah, you chopped it up to the fact that this is a remake. I deal with it. It's nostalgia. Okay, well, now you can do what they did in Generation 5. And yeah, true, in Generation 5, you was able to bring over more Pokemon, from older generations. But for the most part, the game actually had a pretty big dex already. So there was no real reason to actually bring them over other than for your own purpose of wanting to have your favorite Pokemon there with you. Now, don't get me wrong. I completely agree with that. I love having my own Pokemon, especially my older ones. I actually grown attached to them, do voiceovers for them and all that kind of stuff there. Not actually like they actually holding a, language to language conversation, but the simple, Pika and blah, that kind of thing there. But anyway, yeah, so I understand people, but don't freak out about it before the game even gets here. That's kind of the problem with the community in a whole. And when I say the community in a whole, I'm not just talking about the Pokemon community. No, I mean this generation's community. And I may not necessarily be part of this generation, considering my age and all, but I'm still part of it in terms of I actually enjoy the things that most of the generation enjoys. Except the music, rap music is trash, just trash. Abysmal. But anyway, yeah, so I can relate, but you gotta understand, give the game a chance before you completely just shit on it. Damn, game ain't even dropped. We don't even know the full roster yet. They can drop 202 Pokemon on us for this region, okay? Because you gotta think about it, it's over on the Switch. And if they drop that many Pokemon, don't you think they need to make some adjustments and cuts? I mean, yeah, so what, they bringing over previous models from the 3DS. That just means that they've been working on Sword and Shield, in which we already knew they've been working on Sword and Shield. They've been working on Sword and Shield since the Switch was announced. The Switch was announced and not even released yet. That means they already had a prototype. They've been working on Sword and Shield, so you got to know that there is some work that went into this. It isn't just the Pokemon that we know and love that's going to be a part of this game. There's going to be new Pokemon that we're going to get introduced to and grow to love them as well. So just calm down. But Game Freak, please do understand that everybody has favorite Pokemon. So I'm not saying that for this game you need to make sure that all Pokemon get in there because it's kind of late at this point. But what I am saying is just keep in mind for future projects that we do love all Pokemon. So try not to keep all Pokemon away. I mean, I understand that you got to make some cuts somewhere, especially when you're making a new generation game, because this is a new region, there's going to be new Pokemon. But again, we want to be able to access our old Pokemon. Think about the people that play Pokemon competitive. These are your bread and butter if you actually think about it. They actually buy both copies of the game. They actually spend money to actually make sure that they buy Nintendo gear. That means they was buying multiple copies of every Game Boy that came out. These people are dedicated hardcore fans and they should be treated as such. Now, I'm not saying that you don't appreciate them. I'm just saying that you have to understand why they are angry. You know, because that's a big, huge pill to swallow. Because if you remember, in other generations, even if the national dex wasn't there, or whatever the case may have been, there have been Pokemon that was not part of the dex. So you just have question marks on them. Trust me, I know. I've seen it firsthand where I've brought Pokemon over and they just had question marks. And this was after I unlocked the national dex. So, yeah. Now, look, in this case, unless Pokemon are going to be walking alongside us, I don't think the models would have been too much to, add maybe 100 more or so. I'm just saying, just to ensure, because most people that have favorite Pokemon, their favorite Pokemon are commonplace favorite Pokemon. That's just kind of how things go. And the reason being is because that Pokemon is awesome in some shape, form, or fashion. Either it's extremely cute, or it's extremely cool, it's extremely powerful. But those Pokemon tend to stand out, and even amongst you, Game Freak, because y'all will go out of y'all way to highlight those Pokemon. So the fact that all Pokemon are included isn't a bad thing, but the fear that all of the favorites aren't there is. If you catch my drift? So now, like I said, it's just a fear, because again, coming back to you fans, you gotta understand, we don't know the full deck yet. We just know what has been revealed so far. And yeah, we actually used to people by now being, cracked some code from the demo and discovered, pretty much the whole decks. But we don't have that this go around, at least not yet. So we don't know the full decks. We just following leaks, and every so often when they drop a trailer, whatever Pokemon they show us in the trailer. So yeah, the fear is there. I completely understand, but let's wait, because you gotta remember, more than likely your top 5 favorite Pokemon are probably gonna make the game. They're very popular amongst the community. But with that being said, let me actually drop my 12 favorite Pokemon that I want to see make it to Sword and Shield, at least be able to access them. Even if I just have to transfer them over, because I'm not really just expecting to see the majority of these out in the wild, in which that would actually be refreshing to see some of these out in the wild, especially my top 3. So let's get into that. Number 12 being Dialga. Now, yeah, I'm starting off with a legendary, and I didn't put him in number 12 because he's a legendary. No, that's not why he's at number 12. He's at number 12 because, to me, I like him. I like him a lot, but he just doesn't quite stack up to the others in terms of placement for me. You know, because by the time you get Dialga in Diamond and Pearl, there we go, memories. Uh, yeah, by the time you get them, it's kind of in game. So I never really grew a bond with them. And then, you know, going over to the next generation, as soon as you can bring them in, is, you know, so I'm not really using him. I'm using my team that I already have. And if I am making any adjustments, is again some of my more favorite Pokemon. And also he's a legendary, so we already know that he's powerful and he's gonna wipe out a lot. So yeah, I didn't really grow a connection with him. My favorite list doesn't come from their potential in terms of their power or anything like that. They're just my personal favorite because I like them. Simple as that. But anyway, moving over to number 11. Now, Salandit. That's my boy, okay? And yes, I say that's my boy because I do not like the fact that he got played with an evolution that only applies to the female. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand Salazzle or whatever it's called. You know, it looks feminine. I get that. But you could have easily made a masculine version as well. So, you know, I'm not understanding, Game Freak. You've done that for a lot of other Pokemon that was not even really worth your time. But you couldn't do that for this one. I mean, come on. I mean, then it's freaking adorable. Male or female, it's freaking adorable. It looks like a lizard bandit. You get no more adorable than that, you know. So yeah, as soon as I saw the reveal for him, I fell in love and was like, yeah, he definitely being on my team. And since then, he's always been on my team. Always had to have one on my team. And even if I did get a female, I wouldn't let it evolve. But moving on from that one, we're going to go into number 10. And that is the Gardevoir line. Now, I enjoy the whole line. That's the reason why I said the Gardevoir line. But Gardevoir, out of the whole, is actually my more favorite. And that's because Wally. Yeah, Wally. Wally grew his relationship with his Gardevoir over time. And actually getting to see them grow back in Generation 3, that, you know, it hit me here. You know, it hit me here. And, you know, so I always enjoyed it. And it's always been, you know, powerful in its own way, you know, as long as you used it correctly. And then the fact when Mega Evolution became a thing, oh my God. And the fact that it became a fairy type, completely OP, murdered everything to death. Moonblast to the face. Alright, so now number 9 is the Noivern line. Now, anybody that likes Noibat or Noivern will understand completely why. When you look at Noibat, it's freaking adorable, and the anime highlighted it perfectly. As well as the game highlighted it perfectly. It highlighted the fact that this is an adorable, cute Pokemon that you actually need to take serious, because if you do not take it serious, then it will hurt you. And then you got Noivern, who's cool and powerful. So yeah, that it's a dragon. Who don't like dragons? And you know, just it's Friday, so it's supposed to be a One Piece video. As my boy Tekken says, Kaido's a dragon. No see. So going into number 8 is Doublade or Dualblade or however you pronounce it. I've never been able to pronounce his name right, even though it's one of my favorite Pokemon. Now, and just him. The rest of the line, don't get me wrong, Aggro and Honedge. Listen, I'm completely fine with them. I like using them, but Doublade is my favorite out of all of them, and I'm only including him because, in all honesty, I'd never really evolved into Aggro. I always beat the game kind of before I even get to be able to, in all honesty. And Honedge, as soon as I can evolve, I evolved. So yeah, and again, like I said, nothing against them. I like them, but they're just not for me. And plus, Zoro's a thing. So that's as close as I'm gonna get to three sword anything in Pokemon. Yeah. All right, so now going into number 7, and that Pokemon is Lugia. Now, Lugia is my favorite. In all honesty, Lugia could actually be my number 1. But when I was making this list and thinking about things, I went ahead and I put him at number 7 because he barely missed the mark compared to the other 6. And that's nothing against him. But his major role came in the movie Pokemon 2000. That's where I truly fell in love with him, and that's where I was introduced to him. Hell, that's where pretty much all of us, that were born at that time, were introduced to him. So yeah, Lugia. He's the leader of the bird trio. Guardian of the Sea. Have you ever seen an attack aerial blast? Come on. Yeah, Lugia. Okay, now with number 6, this is going to be the only Generation 1 Pokemon on the list. And as you can tell, I'm kind of all over the place with my favorite Pokemon. That's right, I'm actually an older person that isn't infatuated with Generation 1. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have my fond memories of Generation 1, but not too many favorite Pokemon came from Generation 1. I was actually a little bit underwhelmed with Generation 1 Pokemon. So yeah. But this one, Haunter. I actually enjoy the whole line. I really do. I enjoy Ghastly and Gengar just as much. And in all honesty, it could be the whole evolutionary line that actually takes the number 6 spot. But I'm going to just give it to Haunter because Hunter's who made me even want to use a Ghastly, and the fact that I accidentally traded a Haunter and got Gengar to even realize that Gengar is actually pretty good outside of Generation 1. Yeah. So, Haunter. Yeah. Number 5. The whole Rowlet line. Or Decidueye line, or can't remember the middle stage name line because it's actually probably don't even need to be included. Probably just say Rowlet and Decidueye because that middle stage just didn't do it for me. But anyway, Rowlet, freaking adorable. Cute. Anime highlighted that and made you love him even more. Decidueye is a complete badass. Like, the few times that I did play for competitive purposes, Decidueye was the one who got me through. Like, yeah. Decidueye and my number 1 pick, of course, but just hold off. So for number 4, Victini. Now you don't hear a lot of people actually listing Victini in their top anything favorite. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that they don't like them because who doesn't like Victini? Is freaking cute, it's freaking powerful, and it's the best thing that came out of Generation 5. Yeah, I said it. Victini is the best thing that came out of Generation 5. Forget Reshiram, forget Kyurem, forget the other Ram. Victini is where it's at. That's why he would put ahead of the starters. Because they knew, Game Freak knew. Game Freak and Pokemon knew. Victini is where it's at. This is our ace right here. This is our ace. And not to mention, the quest to actually get him, I want to say that was actually the last time that we actually had a decent quest to actually get a legendary / mythical Pokemon in the game. I mean, yeah, you got, the Delta episode with Oraz, but the purpose wasn't really to get Rayquaza or Deoxys. It was really just post-game gameplay. That's what it was really for. It wasn't to get them. So, yeah. But, going on into number 3. Now, a lot of you probably already know number 3, number 2, and number 1. If I've mentioned it in any of the videos, can't remember if I had or not. Old age and all. But number 3 shouldn't be a shocker. Greninja. Actually, the whole Greninja line. I love Froakie. Frogadier is the man, and Greninja is a freaking ninja. Again, ninja, frog. He's blue. I'm signed up. Yeah, I'm signed up. Design, badass. What more do you need to say about Greninja? As well as Greninja, the only starter out of Generation 6 to actually get any good shine. Not to mention that they actually went out of their way to give Greninja something to compete up with Mega Evolution. Everybody loves Greninja. I don't care who you is. Even if you say you hate Greninja, you love Greninja. Because the reason you hate Greninja is the same reason why you love him. Because he's freaking awesome and everybody loves him. Because you can't dispute how great Greninja is. Now, on a competitive level, look, listen, I understand. You got to do a few things to him to make him just completely boss. But who gives a shit about that? Greninja is awesome without all of that. I would have Greninja rolling with me in real life. Like, if some people rolled up on me and wanted to start some shit, we posting up like this. What's good? What's really good? You can give me a scarf. I go get Conor Curry's scarf and wrap that around my face. While Greninja got his tongue wrapped around. What's good? What's really good? Just saying. Alright, so number 2. Number 2 is actually a long time favorite, in which number 2 was number 1 for so long. But the only reason he got bumped down to number 2 is because Mega Evolution became a thing. So that probably gave away who my number 1 is. But my number 2, Infernape. That's right, the boy Infernape. Matter of fact, the whole Infernape line. Chimchar, Mafuno, yo. Son Goku. Son Goku. That is who he's based off of. Anybody that watches anime know Goku is a staple. Goku is my favorite anime character of all times. He's my hero. As I was growing up, he was my inspiration. He's the one who made me, do anything that I did that was actually positive and in terms of having grit to push forward. It was all Goku. So the fact that we got a monkey in the game that's based off Son Goku, not that Son. I know he's not based off Dragon Ball Z Goku, of course, but the same kind of principle. They both based off the same story, if you will. Yeah, sign me up. As well as Generation 4 being my favorite generation of Pokemon, I actually grew a stronger bond with Chimchar, Mafuno, and Infernape in a whole. So across the years, Infernape has always been there for me in some shape, form, or fashion. And I was always hoping that I would be able to walk alongside him in a future game, but unfortunately, Game Freak has Game Freak and Pokemon. They kind of taking that from me because anything past Generation 3 hasn't gotten any real shine. I mean, don't get me wrong, you got a few Pokemon that were picked out of Generation 4 and Generation 5 that got a Mega Evolution or got, some sort of buff. But the starters, Generation 4 should definitely get something did to it because Generation 4 is actually a fun time for everybody. So please, one day, Game Freak, Pokemon, come on. Hook your boy up. Bring back Mega Evolution and give the boy Infernape a Mega Evolution. Please. And then number one, in which I'm pretty sure most of you guessed it, is Lucario. Because he actually has a Mega Evolution. That's the only reason why he beat out Infernape. Coming from Generation 4, they was actually tick for tack. In all honesty, you got two fighting types. One just so happened to be fire, the other one steel. And then he's actually a fox wolf thingy that stands on his hind legs and shoot blasts from his hands. Very similar to who? Goku. Who is my favorite anime character of all time. So therefore, yeah, sign me the hell up. As well as he got his own movie with Mew. Yeah, Lucario, badass, all the way around. Nothing else to say about it. I mean, I do got fond memories with him, and when I was also playing competitively, like I said, along with Decidueye, ice paws to people's face all day. Ice paws to people's face all day, and they got the job done. But that's my list, as well as the earlier part of the video. That's my view on the take of things. So everybody, please just chill out. Let Game Freak, Pokemon Company do their thing. Let the game get released. Play the game. See what's all there. And then if it's shitty, shit on it. If it's great, enjoy it. Either way, it's a Pokemon game. It's finally coming to a home console. I say we had a win in this case. Pokemon Company, Game Freak, they still learning. Let's take it as a win and let's just enjoy the fact. But again, it's been your boy KD. Peace and love, everybody, and I'll see you guys next time.